What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are doing something absolutely insane. You see this giant pantry behind me? We're going to fill it with food that could literally outlive all of us. In a world where anything can happen, being prepared for an emergency isn't just smart, it's essential. So, I challenged my team to find 20 foods that, if you store them right, will basically last forever. Some you'll expect. A few will blow your mind. Stick around until the end. The last items are the most surprising. Let's get into it. Alright, kicking things off with number 1, honey. This golden liquid has been treasured since ancient times, with jars found in Egyptian tombs still perfectly edible after thousands of years. Why does honey last so long? It's super low in moisture, highly acidic, and contains natural hydrogen peroxide. This creates an environment where bacteria and mold simply can't survive. Store honey in glass jars with tight lids away from heat and sunlight. If it crystallizes, just warm it gently in a bowl of hot water, never microwave. And never let water get in the jar or it can ferment. Honey isn't just for sweetening tea or toast, it's a natural wound dressing, cough soother, and energy booster. Fun fact, honey has even been used to preserve fruits and nuts for centuries. Mistake to avoid, don't use a wet spoon or let water in the jar or your honey can ferment and spoil. Number 1, honey, nature's perfect preservative, and a must-have for any forever pantry. Number 2, white rice. This humble grain has fed civilizations for thousands of years, from ancient China to modern kitchens. Unlike brown rice, which spoils due to its oils, white rice is stripped of the bran and germ, making it shelf-stable for 30 years or more if stored right. For best results, use food-grade buckets, mylar bags, and oxygen absorbers to keep out moisture, bugs, and air. Store in a cool, dry place. Heat and humidity are the enemy. Mistake to avoid using non-airtight containers, which invite pests and moisture. Always label your buckets with the date and rotate your stock for best results. White rice is a blank canvas. Use it for stir-fries, soups, desserts, or even homemade rice milk. In a pinch, it can be ground into flour. Fun fact, rice is the most widely consumed staple food on Earth. Number 3, salt. This mineral has been prized since the dawn of civilization, used for preserving food, trading, and even paying soldiers. Salt never spoils because it's a rock, millions of years old and still good. It draws water out of food and microbes through osmosis, stopping spoilage in its tracks. Store salt in airtight containers to prevent clumping from humidity. Avoid iodized salt for long-term storage, as additives can cause caking. Use salt for curing meats, fermenting vegetables, making electrolyte drinks, and even cleaning. Fun fact, Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt, hence the word salary. Number 4, sugar. Used for centuries to preserve fruits and make jams, sugar is hygroscopic. It pulls moisture out of microbes, stopping them from growing. Store sugar in airtight containers, away from moisture, to prevent hardening and clumping. Never refrigerate. It can absorb odors and moisture. Sugar isn't just for sweetening. Use it in baking, curing meats, fermenting, and even as a quick energy source. Creative use. Make your own electrolyte drink or preserve summer fruits for winter treats. Mistake to avoid, letting sugar get wet, which can cause mold. Fun fact, sugar was once so valuable it was called white gold and locked away in chests. And number 5, dried beans. Beans have been a survival staple for thousands of years, found in ancient tombs and still viable today. They're packed with protein, fiber, and minerals, and when stored dry in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, they can last 30 years or more. Store in cool, dry, dark places. Heat and moisture are the enemy. Mistake to avoid, storing beans in thin plastic bags which let in air and pests. Always use thick, airtight containers for long-term storage. Beans are incredibly versatile. Use them in soups, stews, salads, or grind into flour for gluten-free baking. Pro tip, soak beans before cooking to reduce time and save fuel. Fun fact, some beans found in ancient ruins have actually sprouted after thousands of years. Each bucket is a powerhouse of nutrition and meals. Dried beans are a forever food you can count on. Number 6, pure maple syrup. This golden syrup has deep roots in North America, where indigenous peoples first discovered how to tap maple trees and collect their sap. They passed this knowledge to early settlers, who turned it into a cherished tradition that continues every spring. Maple syrup isn't just a sweetener. It's a symbol of heritage and community, celebrated in festivals across Canada and the northern United States. Real maple syrup is made by boiling down pure sap until it thickens into liquid gold. Its high sugar content acts as a natural preservative, making it nearly impossible for mold or bacteria to grow as long as it stays sealed. Fun fact, Archaeologists have found bottles of maple syrup over 50 years old that were still perfectly edible. For best storage, keep unopened bottles in a cool, dark place. Some families even pass down bottles for generations. Once opened, refrigerate to keep it fresh. If your syrup turns cloudy or forms crystals, don't worry, it's just harmless sugar crystals. Warm the bottle gently and they'll dissolve right back in. Maple syrup isn't just for pancakes, it's a quick energy source in emergencies, a natural sweetener for baking, and a glaze for meats and vegetables. Some athletes even use it as a natural sports gel. In tough times, a spoonful of maple syrup can lift spirits and provide a taste of home. Number 7. Soy sauce. This ancient condiment dates back over 2,000 years to China, where it was first made by fermenting soybeans, wheat, salt, and water. The fermentation process is the secret to its legendary shelf life and deep umami flavor. Soy sauce became a staple across Asia, each region developing its own unique style. The science, high sodium and natural acids from fermentation, makes soy sauce hostile to microbes. Sealed bottles can last for years, even decades past their printed dates. In fact, some chefs prefer aged soy sauce for its richer taste. Store unopened bottles in a cool, dark place and once opened, refrigerate for best flavor. Mythbuster. If you see white floaties in old soy sauce, don't panic, they're just harmless amino acid crystals, not mold. Soy sauce is incredibly versatile, use it to marinate meats, add depth to soups, or even as a secret ingredient in chocolate desserts. Fun fact, soy sauce was once so valuable in Japan that it was used as a form of currency. Today, it's a must-have for any prepper pantry, transforming bland rice and beans into savory meals and lasting for years with minimal care. Number 8. Hard liquor. Spirits like vodka, whiskey, rum, and gin have been distilled for centuries, originally for medicinal, ceremonial, and preservative purposes. At 40% alcohol or higher, nothing can survive in the bottle, making hard liquor virtually immortal on the shelf. Store sealed bottles upright, away from sunlight and heat, and they'll last forever. No need to refrigerate or worry about expiration. Myth. If you see color changes or sediment in clear spirits, it's usually harmless and doesn't mean it's spoiled. In fact, some spirits improve with age. Hard liquor isn't just for drinking, it's a powerful disinfectant, a fire starter, a cleaning agent, and even a barter item in emergencies. During Prohibition, doctors prescribed whiskey as medicine. We keep both large bottles for storage and small ones for emergency kits. Versatile, valuable, and long-lasting. Number 9. Powdered milk. Invented in the 19th century, powdered milk was a game-changer for explorers, militaries, and families. By removing water and fat, it becomes shelf-stable for decades, making it a survival staple around the world. The science, removing water and fat prevents spoilage. Always choose non-fat powdered milk, sealed in #10 cans or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Store it cool and dry for best results. Myth. If it clumps, it's usually just absorbed moisture, sift and use. Use powdered milk for drinking, baking, soups, homemade yogurt, or even baby formula in a pinch. It's a must-have for families. One can equals weeks of nutrition. Fun fact. In World War II, powdered milk was a lifeline for soldiers and civilians alike. Number 10. Pemmican. This legendary survival food was invented by Native Americans who dried lean meat, pounded it, and mixed it with rendered fat and sometimes berries. Pemmican fueled explorers, fur traders, and entire expeditions for centuries, thanks to its incredible shelf life and nutrition. The secret is in the fat, fully dehydrated meat sealed in fat blocks oxygen, keeping it safe for years or even decades without refrigeration. Store pemmican in airtight containers, cool and dark for maximum shelf life. Modern versions add dried berries or spices for flavor and variety. Some think pemmican is bland, but it's calorie-dense, lightweight, and perfect for bug-out bags or emergency kits, a nearly unbeatable source of long-lasting sustenance. Fun fact, pemmican was so valuable that it was traded as currency among early explorers. Number 11. Ghee. Ghee's story begins over 5,000 years ago in ancient India, where it was revered in Ayurvedic medicine and Hindu rituals. To make ghee, butter is simmered until water evaporates and milk solids separate, leaving behind pure golden fat. This process not only enhances flavor but removes the parts of butter that spoil quickly. Ghee's high smoke point makes it ideal for frying, and its nutty aroma is prized in cuisines worldwide. Fun fact, ghee lamps are still used in Indian temples today, symbolizing purity and prosperity. With the milk solids gone, ghee doesn't need refrigeration and can last for years, even at room temperature. Store it in airtight glass jars, away from sunlight, and it stays fresh and ready for action. Pro tip, always use a clean, dry spoon to avoid introducing moisture. In some cultures, ghee is used as a skin moisturizer and even as a base for herbal medicines. Ghee's chemistry is fascinating. It's almost pure fat, with virtually no lactose or casein, making it suitable for many who are dairy sensitive. Its smoke point is over 450 degrees Fahrenheit, higher than most oils. Beyond cooking, ghee is used in traditional lamps, as a base for herbal infusions and even in religious ceremonies. In Ayurveda, it's called liquid gold for its health benefits. Number 12. Cornstarch. First produced in the 19th century, cornstarch is made by grinding the starchy part of corn kernels into a fine, silky powder. Its nearly infinite shelf life comes from its low moisture and lack of protein, so bacteria and mold can't grow. Store cornstarch in a sealed container with a desiccant packet to keep it bone-dry and clump-free for decades. Cornstarch is a kitchen multi-tool. It thickens soups and gravies, crisps up fried foods, soothes skin rashes, and even makes DIY glue or Play-Doh. Fun fact, it's used in science experiments like making oobleck, a non-Newtonian fluid that acts like both a liquid and a solid. Number 13. White vinegar. Made by fermenting grain alcohol, white vinegar is a chemical powerhouse with virtually unlimited shelf life. Its high acidity, usually around 5%, stops bacteria and mold in their tracks. Store vinegar in its original sealed bottle, away from heat, and it'll last for years. No special tricks needed. White vinegar isn't just for pickling and cleaning, it's a natural weed killer, fabric softener, glass cleaner, and even a science fair volcano ingredient. In ancient times, vinegar was used as a disinfectant and even as a drink mixed with water by Roman soldiers. Pro tip: use vinegar to neutralize odors and descale appliances. Number 14. Bouillon cubes. Invented in the early 1900s, these tiny flavor bombs are made by dehydrating broth, salt, and seasonings into compact cubes or granules. With almost no moisture and lots of salt, bouillon cubes can last for years past their best-by date. Store them in airtight jars or vacuum-sealed bags to keep them dry and potent. Bouillon cubes are more than soup starters. Use them to flavor rice, noodles, or even as emergency electrolytes for hikers. Fun fact: during World War II, bouillon cubes were included in soldiers' rations for quick nutrition and morale. Pro tip: dissolve a cube in hot water for an instant savory drink. Number 15. Instant coffee. Invented in the early 20th century, instant coffee is made by brewing coffee, then freeze-drying or spray-drying it into granules that dissolve instantly in hot water. With almost all the water and oils removed, instant coffee can last for decades if kept airtight and cool. Pro tip: store with an oxygen absorber for maximum freshness. Instant coffee isn't just for a quick caffeine fix, it's used in baking, making iced coffee, and even as a natural deodorizer for your fridge. Fun fact: some artists use instant coffee as paint for sepia-toned artwork. In a pinch, it can be a morale booster in emergencies or outdoor adventures. Number 16. Pure vanilla extract. Vanilla is more than just a flavoring, it's a story that spans continents and centuries. The ancient Totonac people of Mexico first cultivated vanilla orchids, and the Aztecs later combined vanilla with cacao to create a drink fit for royalty. When Spanish explorers brought vanilla to Europe, it quickly became a prized luxury, second only to saffron in value. The secret to vanilla extract's longevity is alcohol. Pure vanilla extract is made by soaking real vanilla beans in high-proof alcohol, which acts as a natural preservative. This environment is so hostile to bacteria and mold that, if kept sealed and away from heat and light, vanilla extract can last for decades, sometimes even improving in flavor as it ages. For best storage, keep your vanilla extract in a tightly capped dark glass bottle, away from sunlight and heat. Fun fact: the flavor actually deepens over time. And beyond baking, try a dash in coffee, oatmeal, or even savory sauces for a gourmet twist. Mistake to avoid: don't buy imitation vanilla, only pure extract has the staying power and rich taste. Number 17. Dried pasta. Pasta's roots stretch back to ancient China and the Mediterranean, where it became a staple for travelers and armies because it was lightweight, filling, and easy to store. Today, pasta is a global comfort food, beloved for its versatility and long shelf life. The science behind pasta's longevity is simple. It's made from durum wheat and water, then dried until almost all moisture is gone. With so little water, bacteria and mold can't grow. For maximum shelf life, store pasta in airtight containers or mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and keep it cool, dry, and pest-proof. Did you know there are over 600 pasta shapes worldwide? Beyond spaghetti, try pasta in soups, casseroles, or even as a crunchy snack. Fun fact: Pasta can be ground into flour for baking in a pinch. Mistake to avoid: storing pasta in thin plastic bags, which let in air and bugs. Number 18. Baking soda. Also known as sodium bicarbonate, this humble white powder was first produced in the late 1700s and quickly became a household essential. Its shelf life is nearly unlimited if kept dry and sealed. The preservation science. Baking soda doesn't support bacteria or mold because it's a pure mineral salt. Store it in airtight containers with desiccants to keep out moisture. Pro tip: add a box to your fridge to absorb odors and keep things fresh. Baking soda is a true multi-tool. Use it for baking, cleaning, deodorizing, relieving heartburn, or even putting out small grease fires. Fun fact: it's a key ingredient in science fair volcanoes. Mistake to avoid: letting it absorb too much moisture, which can reduce its effectiveness. Number 19. Lentils. Archaeologists have found lentils in ancient Egyptian tombs, proving their staying power. Lentils are packed with protein, fiber, and iron, and they cook much faster than most beans, saving precious fuel. For long-term storage, seal lentils in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, then place in food-grade buckets. Lentils are versatile. Use them in soups, stews, salads, or even grind them into flour for gluten-free baking. Fun fact: red, green, and black lentils all have slightly different flavors and uses. Mistake to avoid: storing lentils in thin plastic or letting them get damp, which can lead to spoilage. Pro tip: sprout lentils for fresh greens, or use them as a protein boost in homemade energy bars. Lentils are a prepper's best friend, nutritious, filling, and nearly indestructible. And finally, number 20. Wheat berries. These are whole, unprocessed wheat kernels, and they've been a food staple for over 10,000 years. Ancient civilizations stored wheat berries in clay jars to survive harsh winters and droughts. For modern storage, keep wheat berries cool, dry, and oxygen-free in mylar bags and buckets. With a hand crank mill, you can grind fresh flour for bread, pancakes, or tortillas. No electricity needed. Wheat berries can also be sprouted for fresh greens or cooked whole for hearty salads. Fun fact: wheat berries can last for decades if stored properly, and some have even been sprouted after thousands of years. Mistake to avoid: letting moisture or pests in. Wheat berries are the cornerstone of food self-sufficiency, nutritious, versatile, and built to last. And there you have it. Our incredible forever pantry is officially complete. 20 foods that, with proper storage, can last decades. In some cases, literally forever. Protect from oxygen, moisture, light, pests, and extreme temps. Tell me in the comments, what would you add? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more prepper challenges. Stay prepared. We'll see you in the next one.